During Advent, in the lead up to Christmas, our children put on a nativity play each year. The year before last December, the last play that Jenny and I were involved with, we managed to secure the services of Merlin the donkey, who made an appearance in church in the nativity that year. Who could forget him? He was white and big and tall, and he was led around the church as we all sang Little Donkey with Mary and Joseph. He made an enormous noise, and he also left us an enormous present at the side of the dais. I think I jumped out of the way just in time. Definitely one of those mornings I will never forget. Today is Palm Sunday, and we remember another donkey. Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey with her colt at the start of a week which would lead to his death and resurrection. He was making a clear statement that he was the Saviour the Jewish people were waiting for, as the manner of entry into Jerusalem was prophesied about in the Old Testament book of Zechariah. But this got me thinking about donkeys. These splendid creatures are mentioned a lot in the Bible, around about 140 times in fact. Perhaps we could learn something from them. Perhaps, metaphorically, be a donkey. Today, on Palm Sunday, the donkey and her colt serve Jesus. The journey may well have been in two stages. Jesus riding on the donkey across the rough terrain over the 2 miles from the Mount of Olives in Bethphage, and the colt for the final part into the city itself. The donkey carried the weight of the most physically demanding part of the journey. Donkeys were lowly creatures, beasts of burden. Yet they took the weight, serving their owners and lightening the journey. It's difficult not to think about our situation now around the world. We're in a time of great uncertainty, and it requires, in the UK, a national response, and across the world, an international response. We see acts of service from key workers, be they NHS doctors, nurses, support staff and cleaners and others, social workers, adult social care staff in care homes, and many, many others. We see them taking an incredible weight to help us. Perhaps that can be an inspiration to us, even though we are stuck at home. We can help each other by lightening each other's load. We have the shopping list scheme at church. We can serve through prayer. And we can look out for each other, be it contact via technology or a good old-fashioned phone call. And we have one person who takes the weight for us. Jesus said, "My burden is light." We're instructed in the Bible to cast our cares onto Jesus because he cares for us. We can bring him our fears, our worries, our concerns to him in prayer and ask him for help. The weight can be lifted because ultimately, just like the donkey did the lifting for Jesus, Jesus himself has done the lifting for us through the death on the cross on Good Friday and rising on that first Easter Sunday. So, we can be a donkey and help each other. And the example of the donkey is the example of what Jesus has done for us. He lifts away our weights and burdens if we ask him to. Amen.